I found a pretty bad video I hadn't seen anyone cover before by a user who is no longer still active. So Sonic the Dark X made a video on someone called the Mental Spaghetti Noodle 5000 who commentated on his video on a ranter named Blossom Peace, who talked about some stupid shipping wars, and this is where I come in.
Hey guys, Sonic the Dark EX here, and today, a couple weeks ago, someone did a commentary on me on my commentary on Blossom Peace's rant about shipping wars. So I'm gonna do a commentary on that video. And I will point out some flaws with this video, of course. There are a lot of them.
Really redundant statement is really redundant? Seriously, we would have caught on to the fact this video is flawed in some areas just based on your commentary alone. We don't need to hear you say you're going to argue statements because there are problems.
So, without further ado, and I don't even know what I'm doing anymore, let's get into the commentary, shall we?
So then we get a skip card that plays for 20 seconds, has no reason to be this long, and doesn't really give us anything to look at. Why is the skip card 20 seconds? Isn't a skip card supposed to shorten the time of the video to avoid wasting everyone's time? This doesn't really save any at all.
Hello there, my name is Ellie and I am here with a rant video. You know, shipping wars are just overloaded and overboard, that I really wanted to get them off from my chest.
Wait, get the shipping wars off your chest? Were you a part of shipping wars? I'm confused.
She's saying that she's had this rant on her mind and she wants to share her views to other people to just get it over with.
Yeah, well, it could have been explained in her video, so yeah.
Regardless of how not elaborated it was, would it not simply be her thoughts on the matter of shipping wars? Even if she was getting shipping wars off of her chest, it would still be her getting her thoughts of how shipping wars are pointless and stupid out there. So elaboration isn't needed within this context.
I don't think you quite understand the definition for rabid.
Oh, my fucking god. You're actually doing this?
Rabid means an animal that has rabies. So yeah, try again, please.
Dark, have you ever heard of what hyperbole is? No? It's basically just that Tally is exaggerating, meaning you are technically not wrong, but you are taking such an obvious exaggeration seriously. Ellie is just saying that the shippers got so triggered that they ended up doing really stupid and irrational things. Learn connotations. Not everything she's saying is literal. Another thing, you motherfucker. Frozen Angel 2.0 is in the house, 30. If you look closely at this screenshot, you can see that Dark is using the second definition for the word, rabbit. At least Angel showed us both definitions, which lead the audience to instantly realize that Angel was bullshitting. At least Angel was in some ways honest with his dishonesty. Dark shows us only the one definition that supports his argument. So I decided to check out what that first definition was, and lo and behold, having or proceeding from an extreme or fanatical supportive or belief in something. The show's small but rabid fan base, and then it lists off a bunch of synonyms which show that what Ellie was saying in her video was right there in its most stripped and easiest to understand form. Dark either didn't notice, or is intentionally lying in order to win this argument.
I did not do this intentional. I did not notice it.
I don't see how you didn't notice it when it's staring at you right in the face when you search up the definition. The explanation of it being a belief of something is actually in your screenshot as well. Which makes the belief that you simply did not see it even harder to believe, as all you would have to do is look up at the top of your screenshot. And that even takes out the two right beside your definition, showing us that it's not the first definition you get of the word.
You don't just get to assume things that are not true.
But they weren't actually assuming you were lying towards your audience. They quite clearly stated,
Dark either didn't notice, or is intentionally lying in order to win this argument.
They even bring up the possibility of you simply not seeing the first definition, which is not assuming, it's bringing up an option, one of the options of which you even say yourself is to be true.
Seriously, not everyone else has to ship your certain favorite shipping. I have some friends who hate my favorite shippings, and you don't see me complaining about it. Not one little bit.
Okay, so 3 problems with this interjection. 1, you're complaining about it literally right now.
No, she's ranting about the people who get triggered over their favorite shippings being questioned. That's actually completely different from her complaining about people questioning her favorite shipping. In fact, all she said was, I can take my ships being made fun of.
Like, seriously, all you did was just get a picture of her avatar, a specific picture of her avatar, and just say, I can take my ships being made fun of.
Yes, it was to summarize what it was Blossom Peace's point was. What's your point?
Also, she was literally complaining about it. She was not only complaining about the shipping wars, but she was complaining about her ships being made fun of.
No, she wasn't. She was saying how stupid it was that people complained about other people's ships before explaining how she doesn't complain about her ships being made fun of.
Seriously, not everyone else has to ship your certain favorite shipping. I have some friends who hate my favorite shippings, and you don't see me complaining about it.
Point to me where in that statement was she actually complaining that her friends made fun of her ships and wasn't just simply explaining to her audience that her friends don't like them as an anecdotal example?
And also, that small pause right there made you look like you had no point.
I have some friends who hate my favorite shippings, and you don't see me complaining about it. Not one little bit.
It was a second long pause. I could kinda understand your point if she was stuttering her ass off.
That part could have been cut out, you know?
Oops. 0.28 seconds of pausing. It almost looked like you didn't have a point.
Any long pauses in a video could be cut off, right? That's what I do sometimes.
Yes, but sometimes you also leave in pauses that last half a second too. Perhaps this was one of those times that Blossom piece did that. Hell, every interjection you start has a moment of pause before you actually start talking, so if you are going to get on Blossom's case about a simple pause, you may want to take a look at your own audio editing.
Like, are you just that impatient that you can't have a single second of silence present in a video? Hey, so that's why your music bleeds into the videos you are covering sometime?
I do that intentionally because I want to, so I can give the video more feel.
I fail to see the purpose of answering a rhetorical statement.
And of course, shipping wars do actually remind me of Duckman as Cutie shipping herself with the character Duckman, and gets sensitive towards people who hate her precious shipping.
Precious shipping! I just did that for fun. But anyway, people do often get sensitive towards people that hate their shippings. It's a part of life, so get used to it.
Okay, but does this really negate how that's a really negative character flaw? People are getting offended because their favorite cartoon characters aren't as appealing together in other people's opinions. Why should we just get used to it?
By leaving them alone, and not judging them by sharing it to everyone, because it makes them feel bad.
First of all, they asked why, not how. Second, this does nothing more than ignore the problem at hand, as Blossom, as a whole, is saying that people getting overly sensitive to people disliking their shipping is a really bad mentality to have. Telling her to get used to it like that is basically telling her to ignore something she finds to be a problem. Also, are you advocating for people to get upset at opposing opinions and for those to have opposing opinions to stay to themselves? Because that's what I'm hearing, and if that's the case, why are you commentating on a video as subjective as this with points as subjective as that? It doesn't really make sense.
Why can't she just rant about the subject in order to do the following? A. Alert people about these negative character flaws in order to bring awareness to the issue and possibly leading to a better solution. B. Alerting people about negative character flaws that they might in fact have. C. Just to fuck around and get her opinion out there to other people, instead of just keeping it to herself. Did I mention that it's not very healthy to keep your opinions bottled up like a bad
Since when did I keep my opinions bottled up? Since when?
They were not talking about you. They were saying, in general, it's a bad idea to keep your opinions bottled up, not that you do it. Can you please quit jumping the gun on this? It's actually fairly annoying, if I can be honest.
Same goes for Sean, obviously, because he ships himself with Serena with a ship by the name of Steamy Shipping.
Again, what's wrong with other people shipping themselves with other characters from different franchises? I sure know some people that ship themselves with other characters from other franchises. And you don't see me complaining about it.
At first I had no actual rebuttal to this claim due to not knowing who Sean was. However, I took a quick gander at the comments section. Apparently, he's some 18-year-old dude shipping himself with Serena from Pokemon. Serena is 10. Since Dark doesn't really do anything to refute that, I guess it should end here. However, I would like to debunk both Dark and Sketch here. Here's the thing though, Sketch. Sean is not only 18, but he is also shipping himself with Serena, a 10-year-old girl.
Serena's fictional? It's not like she's real or anything. She's from Pokemon. So, what's so bad about it? I don't know.
However, you're ignoring the problem outright and stating that it's merely a joke and that there's not a problem with it. There is definitely a problem with it, though. You can argue the severity of the problem, but there is definitely still a creepy problem. Don't just label it as memes, my dude.
They go on to explain that the problem is that it's creepy for someone of legal age of consent to ship themselves with a minor. If you let Mental Spaghetti Noodle continue on their tirade, you would see this. So not only does your interjection do nothing to debunk their argument, but just a little while later they explain why it is that Sean ships himself with Serena, thus making your whole interjection pointless.
You're not shipping yourself with Discount or Kurome, others are. Both of your examples are also a crock of shit, considering Kurome is 21, while Discount is 14.
Yeah, because it's a meme culture. Hell, if you want an example, take Shadow and Shrek for an example. It's a meme, not legitimate.
Your example continues to not work, as the statement is that Serena is a minor and thus makes this ship between her and a real-life, 18-year-old, creepy. Shrek and Shadow doesn't have the problem of it being a real person shipping themselves with a minor, because neither are real people, and therefore, neither of them are shipping themselves with the other.
However, you're ignoring the problem outright and stating that it's merely a joke and that there's not a problem with it. There is definitely a problem with it, though. You can argue the severity of the problem, but there is definitely still a creepy problem. Don't just label it as memes, my dude.
How is it still creepy? It's fictional character. It's not creepy. You know, things like these are often called waifus, which is when another person has a crush on a fictional character.
But what does this actually debunk in regards to a real-life person shipping themselves with a minor being creepy?
And holy cow, shipping wars had a lot of issues all because of those reasons.
Oh, good insult right there. Maybe you can call them poop heads next time.
What is it? I'm so fucking done with this shit.
Seriously, is that the only insult you got?
Seriously, dude, HaloFan makes better arguments in some of his videos. Just like HaloFan, your argument here doesn't actually exist and you barely seem to pay attention to the things she's actually saying.
What the insult was that she called them out as raisins, which is seriously a babyish insult.
No, she was saying that the shipping wars were stupid for reasons. She wasn't calling them raisins, which if anything confirms Mental Spaghetti Noodle's point about how much you are not listening to the discussion at hand.
I give this video a D because 1. Because you made pointless interjections.
And not once did she ever interject, because this was a rant video. There wasn't a video being covered in her video, just a topic.
Yeah, well, you can also interject in a topic, not just a commentary.
Interject. Say something abruptly, especially as an aside or interruption. When there's not already a discussion at hand, it's not possible to interject anywhere. When there's not already a discussion at hand, it's not possible to interject anywhere. Since that is the end of the commentary, all I will say is this is probably the best example to why kids should not be arguing on the internet. They don't typically know how to. Anyway, this is Pink Robot, shutting down. Until next time.